Hi, I'm Dan Larson, and this is NECA Toys Christopher Reeve Superman in 4 minutes or less. NECA Toys Christopher Reeve Superman fits right into their established 7-inch scale figures like Aliens, Predator, Rocky, RoboCop, Terminator, and both Michael Keaton and Adam West Batman. This is great because NECA already has a bunch of 7-inch figures with the same kind of attention to detail, but terrible because the rest of my figure collection is 6-inch scale. All NECA has to do is pick up the G.I. Joe, He-Man, and Star Wars licenses and problem solved. First impressions matter, and that is something NECA Toys excels at. From the die-cut window featuring the Crystal 2 computer, from the Fortress of Solitude to the Donner-era Superman logos, the box is a true compliment to the figure inside. The figure itself is uncanny in its likeness to Christopher Reeve. For several generations, Reeve has been the embodiment of Superman on screen. He is the standard by which all others are measured, at least in terms of the way he looked as Superman. To not get his face and silhouette just right would be something that longtime fans would unflinchingly, unceasingly criticize. Probably on the internet. But NECA got it right. I literally couldn't ask for a better sculpt. They even put some very faint lines into the suit to give it some sense of visual texture. It's not something that has to be there, but certainly makes it look more like sculpture and less like a plastic action figure. There's some interesting engineering going on here as well. Similar to the Keaton Batman figure, Superman's torso is a two-pieced hinge upper and lower section covered by a rubbery sleeve, if you will, that allows for some limited posability, but more importantly maintains a consistent, unbroken torso and crotch, creating a greater sense of realism. Paint apps are pretty straightforward. The colors of the suit look right, and while I think a little bit of gloss on his belt buckle and his boots might have looked nice, I can't say that it's worse without it. The only real issue I have with the paint, assuming you get one with eyes that look right, is the globbiness of application in places. For mine, the yellow on the S symbol filled in some of the red, which is disappointing, but not enough to not buy it. He's got a cloth cape that tucks into the rubbery torso sleeve, making it look like the cape is tucked into his collar, just like in the movie version. It's the right length, and the fabric that they chose scales well and hangs nicely off his back. He comes with 2 pairs of hands, an open cruising speed set, and a clenched fist punching or full throttle flying, however you need to use it. But instead of molding his hands in flesh-colored plastic, the skin tone is painted on, which has a tendency to peel or flake off on the joints. Other than another set of hands, I can't think of anything that should have been included here. Yeah, they could have put in the synthesized kryptonite rock on a chain from Superman 2, or a crystal from the Fortress of Solitude, but none of that is necessary. They got everything right that they needed to, except for one thing. I can't let NECA off the hook for a production process that results in figures with joints that are so delicate. I've had uncooked spaghetti that was stronger than the joints on some NECA figures. The profoundly breakable nature of this Superman figure undermines its existence and the challenge that it must have been to even get it produced. That disappointment when it breaks is compounded by the difficulty in even acquiring it. This is the 2nd year in a row, the 4th figure including Keaton Batman, West Batman, and Ledger Joker, that NECA has been able to somehow get made, but has only been able to put out in limited quantities, making the very people who they produced it for resentful of the people who worked so hard to make it real. It's a great figure for $20 if you can find one in the wild that has good eyes and doesn't break. It's a terrible waste of money if you have to drop $40 or more to acquire it online with a DVD. Why not throw in a cassette too? Or even more from the secondary market. But I can't say I blame you for paying secondary market prices, since this may be the only time we ever get a figure like this. If you've had it with the hunt for and cost of NECA figures that break right out of the package, or your store never even gets them in stock, then this figure is an easy pass. But if you've been waiting for this figure since 1980 and you're willing to take your chances with the brittle plastic, then this figure is a must-have, so buy it if you see it, and if you see 2, leave one for the next collector. I have to leave it in the package. Thanks for watching. Please take a moment to like this video and either subscribe or share this with a friend if you're already a subscriber, because this is the only place you're ever going to hear the story about my consistent, unbroken torso and crotch. It's right here.
Gross. Cut.